camera. I cleaned off my camera. It looks a little bit better. What's up, fellas? My Eagles are losing on Thursday Night Football. JJ, Yanni, good to see you. What's going on?
It's going to be a long night for your Eagles if they can't get a first down.
Wow.
Yeah, they haven't had a first down in about, 45 minutes now? Been a little bit of time.
They're just getting out-muscled. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a muscle game, but they're getting out-muscled.
I think so. They're certainly getting out-muscled. I mean, they had some yards and they had some success on that. What's that, the first drive or the second drive of the game? Didn't look awful, but since then, nothing really doing. They're not getting any, help from the refs, and there's no pass interference calls. They're not calling shit at all, but they can't count on that. Anybody who bet on Jalen Hurts over pass yards, not feeling too good about that one. But Tom Brady pass yards, we're feeling pretty good about that one right now. He's sitting at 186 yards. We have him at 298, 300, call it. Zach Ertz got into the end zone. Okay, so yeah.
Well,
so
good call. Pretty
good at
that D.
Great Zach Ertz. No Dallas Goedert. I told you guys that I was sitting on the John. I was going through Twitter and I was like, yeah, Dallas Goedert unlikely to play. And he did not play. He's not playing. So he got into the end zone. That might be the Eagles' only touchdown of the night, though, if this keeps up.
Yeah.
Yanni, thoughts on first half, second half, where we're going with this? It looks to be all Buccaneers.
We're seeing the offensive line deficiencies creeping up for the Eagles there. That, JJ mentioned getting out muscled, and they're getting beat up front. Yeah. We know that you can't run the ball on Tampa, and it's extending to Jalen Hurts as well. It's not just the traditional running game, but he can't get out of the pocket and really make anything happen. He's going to have to figure out a way to throw the football if they're going to have a chance to stay in this game. So far, he hasn't been able to do that. But when you look at that Tampa Bay secondary, I don't know how. And obviously, we don't see the all-22 film, so it's hard to see if he's missing receivers or what's going on. But he's going to have to find a way to get the ball downfield into his receivers' hands, and not just on a fly route. He's going to have to work some passes over the middle because they're going to be playing cover 2 in the second half. That's what's got to happen if this team wants to stay in the game, and I don't know at this point that they've proven they can do that.
He has to be missing receivers. I mean, we've seen him made some not so great reads, but yeah, if you look at the all-22, I'm sure as that comes out that we're going to see, look, he's not making too great of reads. Dutch, what's going on? Dutch joining us, an Eagles game in prime time, just like last prime time. Not going so hot so far.
Not too hot for the boys so far, but I still hold this hope, and I don't know why I hold it, but for some reason why. I feel like second half, no problem. What is it? Tom Brady?
Sure.
We're
sure. It's probably going to start out with a pick six. The stats are actually uglier than the score, to be honest with you. Total yards, 233 to 73. 16 to 5 first downs, yards per play. That's ugly. 5.8 to 3.3. Dude, guys, 3.3 is bad, especially because they had one decent drive, which means that the rest of the drives are just punt.
The guy's running for his life every play.
Yeah.
That front four is getting the Eagles' offensive line.
Is it just me, or does it look like he starts to scramble just before there's an opportunity to actually every time it's like if he would just hold in for one more second, we might have a shot at a play downfield. And no, he's off to the races, and it's not working. It is not working.
So that could be part of the problem. One is that pass rush is getting there, but two, it's like Hurts is just like, all right, well, I'm going to take off and run, and he's not even.
They're on that option
looking
too.
Downfield. Yeah. Well, second half bets right now. Second half lines. Did DraftKings just take it down? No, it's up there. Tampa Bay favored by 16 for the game, so that implies Tampa Bay -2 for the second half. Over under 54 in the game. We're at 28. So what's that? 26 in the second half. 26 over under 2. I'm not going to lay it with Tampa with the 2 because there's backdoor potential there and a half. There's certainly backdoor potential there. The over under actually lean over just because I think that the Eagles are going to get some garbage time. But the way to negate that is that Tampa might slow this down a little bit, run for net, get to 28 points, sit on it, get to 24 points, sit on it. JJ, Yanni, anything you guys like in the second half? At first glance, there's nothing that's popping out so far.
Well, I'm gonna go the other way with you guys. I actually think -1.5 or -2 in the second half for Tampa seems like a pretty safe play. And
pretty safe play.
The back door could be open. You're right, the back door could be open here, but Tampa, realistically, it seems like they can move the ball whenever they want.
No.
And I
appreciate the support, though.
I hate to say it. I hate to do it to you guys. I do, but if we're truly looking at making money here, I'm laying that there. I think that this actually gets away from the Eagles in the second half, unfortunately for you guys.
I fucking hate this team.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's unfortunate when you know it's going to happen.
If this was the Bengals.
Yeah.
If this was the Bengals, Bengals fans would be like, yeah, all right, we're coming back in the second half. You guys are like, oh, this is terrible. I mean, it does look pretty bad, but you never know.
This is football. Weird
stuff happens. Looks how they got the win last week. They had to block a punt when they were pretty much out of it.
That is true. It was 15-6.
Doing some stuff.
Football's weird, but I'm with Yanni. I just bet that.
Well,
that said, Tampa's going to cover the second half spread.
Well, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference, though. Carolina is a conservative football team.
Yes.
Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians is not. They're going to keep throwing. They're going to keep their foot on the pedal, and until they have 50 points. So I don't see that where last week Carolina was a little bit conservative. You get the block punt, you get those things that happen. I don't see that happening with Tampa Bay here.
I don't see it happening either. We've got some comments here from our good old buddy Schmitz. Yeah. It turns out that the Eagles should draft better. The Eagles coaching staff, there's a lot of people not so confident in that either. So, Dutch, did you see that Sirianni had a sleepover? Well, not a sleepover, but he had the coaches over to the house on Sunday night after the Carolina
Pretty sure that's
Panthers
frowned
win.
upon these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleepovers are frowned upon, especially after
Sunday
win. Maybe just go home, rest up, hang out with the family, just come back to work on Monday.
We've had enough after game antics with Urban this week. Like, let's keep it standard, right? Maybe just sit a couple plays out.
Sit a couple plays out. So Tampa Bay -1.5. There's -2 at DraftKings. Both Yanni likes, and I think that Yanni knocks some sense into my head here. That's what we need to do. I haven't even looked at the team totals right now, but if you're into team totals, the team totals are Tampa Bay 34.5. Eagles 19.5. I'm not going to recommend anything there, but I could easily see Tampa Bay getting to 35, 42 points unless Fournette gets some rush yards in the second half. And they
what do you think about a Fournette rushing prop? I mean,
what are his props at
40
right now?
Right? He's at 40 yards right now, and he's over under 81.5.
I like it.
I feel like he's going to be touching the ball a lot in the second half.
81.5. I like it.
He should, but my concern there is two things. Number one, like we said, Arians is going to keep throwing the football. Brady's going to keep throwing the football, but also I think we'll see more of Ronald Jones in the second half. If this game's under control, I think Jones will get some totes in the second half.
And
Yanni
to that,
knocking some sense.
29.5 for Ronald Jones.
29.5. He's at what right now? He's a total of.
Great question. I probably should have had that prepared. But
Fournette was putting the moves on out there in the flats, man. He was. Yeah. I don't know if it was just a bad tackle, but.
He looks good. I mean, he's running hard. He's running through people.
Yep. Jones is at
7.
Yeah,
and we said that at the same time.
Wow,
Jones is at 7 right now. Jinx, yeah. So that means he's definitely going under his rush yard total because we said that he's going to go.
Let's lock that in.
But Tom Brady, he's going to hit that over pass yards. I'm pretty sure.
Let's hope so.
Anything else to kick around on this? If not, then we can kick around some week 6, some games maybe that we didn't mention on the podcast that's going to go out tomorrow.
But before you do that, if you can get Tom Brady over 150 yards in the second half at +145.
Not bad.
Wow.
So that would put him at what? So you said it's one what again?
Over 150 yards at +145.
All right, so that would get him to 326 in the game. He's going to keep throwing, and especially if the Eagles manage to put this into a 1-score game or even a 10-point game, Brady's going to keep chucking.
Yep,
he's going to keep chucking that thing.
Some decent value there.
That's some decent value. Yanni coming in hot with the value and coming in hot with the bets and talking us into this Tampa Bay -1.5. But it makes sense. I mean, I have them teased already. I knew that they would hit that tease leg, and hopefully people that have the teaser have it teased 3 or 4 ways this weekend so you can hit the first leg of your teaser. Although I'm not recommending getting carried away with teases like Yanni and I did with the Ravens on Monday Night Football. But you know what? Sometimes you just really like it and you know what's going to happen. So
well, and I know what's going to happen because now it sounds like Kyler Murray's shoulder might be hurt. So my teaser's going to lose no matter what. I mean, Tampa's probably going to smoke them by like 30 points.
How about that
for me?
We've got okay. So I still don't hate it. You have the win factor, which could help you. It could be relatively low scoring. Like we've seen some awful Browns win games last year. Like the Eagles game last year was a mess. They beat the Raiders 16-6 in that game. Like there's some wind that comes off that lake and it changes the dynamic. But it might be kind of bad that we're
Cleveland can run. They'll run it down their throats.
The win. Yeah, they have 2 very capable running backs, and they run the ball in Cleveland. They don't in Philly, but it's hard to run the ball when you're down by 14, 21
I
points.
Guess, but I mean, I'm not like the old guy saying like you got to establish the run, but I mean you got to like try every once in a while, just like do something stupid run, like a different type of run.
It would have been great to do that when we were only down 1 touchdown too.
Yeah.
We still have that. It's crazy that they don't. It just.
You know what?
Someone else has to go because I'll blow up.
Normally,
please blow up, please. Because it's the last primetime game of the season, by the way.
Normally, I can't understand why Philly doesn't try to run the ball, but tonight I get it. You got a depleted Tampa Bay secondary. Go for it wide.
True.
Spread it out. You're not going to be able to run on Tampa. Just spread it out and try to beat these practice squad corners. I mean, if you can't do that, you don't deserve to. You don't deserve.
What about like? Are they just not advanced enough to do screen passes because the linemen are crushing? Like just crashing down into the pocket. They got to think of something here.
You would think. I mean, you have a very capable player in Miles Sanders. I mean, he's one of the best athletes on the team. He should be one of the best offensive weapons on the team.
Guy.
Yeah, you get him in space, and I'm not saying that he's an Alvin Kamara, but the guy's got talent. The guy has a lot of talent, and he's staying healthy. Like he's on the field. I don't know. Probably time to move on from this. The Eagles are going to drop to 2-4. We'll see what happens for the rest of the season, Dutch.
Well, there's still a whole second half, D.
Yeah, there's still a half of football.
I don't want to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it, JJ. I'm definitely going to enjoy this one. This is going to be the Eagles' last primetime game, unless for some reason they get flexed into some bullshit Week 15 potential wild card game, like a few years ago, like Chip Kelly's last year. Like I think they made primetime and they were like 6-9 or something because they still had a shot at something. So how about we talk week 6 and better teams, right? We covered plenty of good games on the podcast, and I guess we can allude to some of it. Some games that we didn't touch on. Minnesota and Carolina, I feel like we barely touched on, right? JJ, you have a bet on this one under. Yeah, we barely touched on it at the tail end of our little 2-hour powwow. But you're liking the under, and Minnesota now is getting some more bets. So. They're favored by 2 in some spots, 1.5. I don't have anything on this right now. You got the better of that under, JJ. It's now at 45.5, 46. Yeah, 47.5 is a little different number. Could this be a potential teaser leg here, Yanni, if people are looking to, pair it with the Chiefs if they missed out on the Bucs tonight? Put Carolina into it?
Tease Carolina up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst play in the world. They got some bad news today. McCaffrey, I guess, did not practice originally. They were hoping to get him back. Right. First of all, I do think it's a decent teaser leg because I think that'll probably end up being a close game. I don't know that I would bet it just because Minnesota does have the offense that if they're clicking, that they can put up a lot of points. So they could have a 10-point win in that game. I don't see that happening. But that would be my fear in teasing that game.
When it clicks, it could definitely be like a 37-20 type game. And sometimes Carolina struggles to get to 20. Like we saw Dutch that Carolina struggles to, score against the Eagles and they blew that game. So, but that's a potential tease. They need him back. Yeah. They 100% need him back because you're not going to go to the playoffs and go above 500 with Sammy Darnold back there. I mean, he's not the worst quarterback. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But until he's back, they're a total under team. I mean, because they have a good enough defense to at least be tough.
Agreed. I don't even hate it at 46. I mean, I'm not going to bet it at this point. JJ's number is awesome, but yeah.
And the Vikings have played pretty good defense the last couple of weeks as well, really. So when you look at that, I mean, their defense is playing well. So I like JJ's under there.
I like the under. Don't go above and beyond and tease the total or anything. We're not recommending teasing the total. Do not do that. But if for some reason you really like it and you can find like a 46.5 out there, like you could convince me to take it. But JJ's line's awesome. We've got the Chiefs and teasers. I know that might spoil a little bit of the podcast, but I think that's a no-brainer for a lot of people out there. I think there's a lot of people that had Bucs and Chiefs teased. Some people even teased Pittsburgh down. They're 5.5 point favorites. I guess that's teasing through 0. It's not great, but most people don't expect Seattle to do anything on the road at Pittsburgh. Don't hate that, I guess. If
will they not? No love for Geno.
No love for Geno on the road in Pittsburgh. I mean, Geno's not good, but then again,
remember that time he got punched in the face?
It's been a few years now, right? So
he got smoked for not paying a debt.
Didn't pay a debt. So did he not pay a debt, or did he lose a card game and not pay a debt or something? It was something that, right?
It was something with him not paying like $60.
Yeah.
Just
$60 is all it takes to get your ass whooped these days.
Clocked in the face. No longer the starting quarterback of the New York Jets.
Unreal.
I'm pretty sure that was back in the Rex Ryan days. The last year of Rex.
I heard
you expect that. Yeah, you expect that in the 1999 University of Miami locker room. You don't expect that in an NFL locker room.
Yeah, right.
It was the Jets, though. So.
Probably could expect it out of a John Gruden locker room. Also,
maybe
that's done now. Also, so we're totally done with that now. So I think we've moved on from that entirely.
Do we think? I mean, speaking of the Gruden guy, not about his whole mess that he has there, but. Do we think the Raiders are just going to beef it this weekend without him? I mean, Derek Carr's not great with a coach.
No idea.
So we talked about this on the podcast a little bit last night. I did 2 units as soon as Gruden resigned on the Broncos, expecting that thing to go from like -3 to like -6. It's still sitting at 3.5, and I'm sitting here like, it's probably a 16-13 Raiders win, and I'm gonna be like, I hate
absolutely hated Gruden, and now they're all actually good at football.
Yeah, the only time that I actually went hard on a Broncos game is now, and I kind of regret
Peterman's shaking his boots.
God bless you.
He's like, shit, I've never seen a field.
I really ponied up on that.
Did he lose Broncos the locker room before all that? Was he
Nathan Peterman
before all that? Gruden.
So you're talking about Gruden, JJ? Yeah, apparently he started to lose the locker room last week a little bit.
I mean,
that played out, I guess, last Sunday played out a little bit because they looked lifeless against the Bears, right? So he started to lose it, and then he completely lost his job. Urban Meyer lost the locker room like in preseason, I'm pretty sure. And he was still there. He never had it. He was gripping on to. I'm pretty sure they held one game.
It doesn't look like he cares at all.
He does look like he cares. He looks like like they're kicking the field goal and he's like all stressed out looking and all this sort of stuff. It's like he cares, but he's like that guy is in way over his head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess he's like
you sometimes have to play it up for the cameras too.
Yeah, it's just like whoa, buddy.
Whatever. I'll go to my bar.
Like when people are throwing stuff at their TV for a losing bet. It's like, this may not be for you.
Get those points.
Look at the signs.
You may want to either stop betting or bet a little bit less.
Man, the Ravens are a lot better than Indiana University. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sometimes there's
Tom Brady's moving the ball.
Hey, move the ball. Get us to 302 yards you need, JJ? 301, maybe, JJ? 303?
We'll see.
Get to 303.
By the way, the quote they just put up from Bruce Arians was awesome. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did not see it, no.
Said, I don't want to be the team's father figure. I want to be the cool uncle you go have drinks with.
Nice.
I love that. I would love to see Bruce Arians just at some Philly strip club after the game. Because
apparently,
that's probably what he's doing.
Apparently, BA used to drink paint because he was lactose intolerant, and he thought milk looked delicious and paint looked like milk. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll just do that."
That's
the football
unreal.
Guy.
That is unreal.
It's hard to beat that kind of effort right there.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm glad that we have Tampa Bay with the spread in the second half. Right?
Yeah, this is good.
I will never agree to that.
Dutch
I will never agree to that.
Dutch is not agreeing with it. He may be thinking it in his head, but
you
in
don't
his
have
heart,
to agree.
But in his heart, he's
you.
not agreeing with it.
Yeah, and Fournette is running downhill. So
Yeah,
this doesn't look too good.
Yeah. So all the running back over rush yards might hit here. So Fournette, Jones, Brady pass yards, all of it. Bucs team total over, Eagles win total under is what we're looking at right now. But hey, it's only one game. It's only one
already
half.
Chalking it up. Yeah.
I mean, how can you
Welcome
not?
to Philly.
Welcome to Philadelphia. Where
Well,
Bruce Arians
I
will be
mean,
drinking after the game.
Washington, he'll be drinking. So.
Yeah. Fellas, have a drink for yourselves
All
also. Right. We'll be back and we'll be talking more football this weekend. Podcast coming up tomorrow.
Good luck, guys.
Later on.
Good talking to you, boys.
All right, fellas. We'll talk to you. And